He could do everything. He's as good as it gets. He's as good as it gets. He's the most complete fighter on the roster because he submits people. Like he submitted Poirier in the final round.
Yeah.
Incredible submission. But he was winning that fight already.
Yeah.
But then, you know, he can also knock you out. He literally does everything. He's one of the best wrestlers in the sport. His top control and his squeeze is insane.
He'll get takedown to deal with that when he was fresh. If Islam can start to pressure him early and take him down early, or even just make him wrestle, he might struggle.
MMA pros have just made professionals have issued warnings to Jack Della Maddalena ahead of his upcoming bout with Islam Makhachev. Gilbert Burns shared his thoughts on Makhachev possibly moving up to welterweight, saying he supports the move since cutting to 155 lbs has always been tough for Islam. Burns praised Makhachev as the top pound-for-pound fighter and believes a fight with Jack would be much closer than people expect. He also noted that Jack has been training with elite names like Alexander Volkanovski and Craig Jones, gaining valuable experience. While Burns hasn't studied the matchup in detail, he expects it to be a very competitive fight.
He's working very hard. He's been saying vocal that he wants to go up to 170. I think he's a big boy. He killed himself to make 55. I think that's the right division for Islam. He just tweeted something after the fight that he'll not vacate the title, and then he vacated the title. I don't know, but probably that was in the negotiation. Yeah, I like him moving up. Proving himself. He's #1 pound for pound right now. It's a good fight. Jack and Islam closer than people think, especially with Jack Della Maddalena doing a lot of training with Volk, with Craig Jones, those guys that kind of back the Islam on that first Volk fight. I think they're going to have a lot of info, a lot of study, a lot of answers. It's closer than people think, this fight. I really like this fight. I don't have time right now. I didn't have time to dig deep a little too much in that fight, but I think it's way closer than people think.
On the other hand, Israel Adesanya expressed confidence in Jack Della Maddalena's ability to defeat Islam Makhachev. He highlighted Jack's physical frame, strength, relentless pace, and constant scrambles as key advantages. Adesanya pointed out that Jack's aggressive pressure during stand-up exchanges and his strong presence in the cage could wear Islam down, especially if Islam fails to secure takedowns consistently.
They're gonna get it done. I feel from talking to Tim and also seeing Della, and also I've only sparred Della once, like not really hard crazy, but and I didn't try and take him down at all, but I've seen him at your gym sparring, and his scrambles are crazy.
Yeah, he's good.
Even watching him with Bilal as well, and Gilbert Burns, his scrambles are crazy, and I feel Islam would feel like he bit off more than he could chew once he gets in there with him, because when he puts some things on him, he's like, I'm standing with this guy, I have to take him down. And then he tries, gets him down, and he gets back up, or he couldn't get him down, because he's a big dude. People don't realize how big Della is as well, and he's solid. So I really
dense, man, just dense.
Dense, yeah. Like when I felt, like I said, we're sparring, and then it's just a weight behind it, and the way he throws it, the body.
And Gary admitted it's tough to predict the outcome. He praised Islam Makhachev's all-around skills, but noted that moving up a weight class brings uncertainty. Gary pointed out that Jack Della Maddalena is naturally bigger than Volkanovski, with strong takedown defense and elite striking, factors that could trouble Islam, despite him being the favorite.
It's Jack or Islam?
It's such a tough one to talk about. Islam is phenomenal. He's good everywhere. Size matters. When you're talking about an extra 15 pounds, when you look at the size of Volkanovski versus Jack Della Maddalena, there's a big size discrepancy. And Volk gave him a good fight. And then Dustin Poirier, it wasn't absolutely completely dominant by Islam. It was a tough fight. Size is going to play a huge part. Even on the ground, I feel like Jack could get it done with just some clean boxing and good takedown defense. But I can absolutely see Islam coming in and doing what Islam does and going out there and just looks like the phenomenal mixed martial.
Javier Mendez said it's hard to say if Jack Della Maddalena would be Islam Makhachev's toughest test, but confirmed Islam wants the fight and is fully ready. He praised Islam's elite skills and work ethic, calling him a different level of fighter than anyone Jack has faced. Mendez added that moving to welterweight suits Islam physically, making him a strong presence in the division.
Well, it's hard to say. It's hard to say if he's a harder challenge. I just know Islam wants this one. So for me, that's the challenge I want, and it's the challenge that I know Islam's going to be, supreme over, because I just know his skill set. I know what he brings to the table, and he brings an incredible work ethic along with skill set in every area. So, Islam is a whole different animal than Jack's ever been involved with. So if that fight does materialize, we're going to see a hell of a fight, and you're going to see Islam perform at an absolute incredible level. And also, the weight is not super big for him either. So he's going to be a fairly decent welterweight. So Islam won't be a small guy. He'll be a decent welterweight, if that.
Philip Rowe voiced full confidence in Jack Della Maddalena, saying he believed Jack would beat Islam Makhachev. He argued that Islam didn't have the size to handle true welterweights, and Jack's power and quick recovery from takedowns would be too much. Rowe predicted Jack would finish the fight before it reached the judges.
Bro, what's cracking, man?
Chillin'.
Hey, now listen, you're welterweight. You've been in the game a long time. Islam moving up to 170. Is he big enough for 170?
My personal opinion, I don't think he is, but he's a champ. We'll see when he's there. You know what I'm saying? He has a fight. He's fighting the champ. That's the best 170 in the world right now, right? So we'll see.
So you don't think he has the size, but how do you think he does in the fight versus JDM?
I personally think JDM beats him. I think JDM will be able to get up if he does take him down. I don't think he'll be able to take JDM shots.
Henry Cejudo predicted that Islam Makhachev would defeat Jack Della Maddalena and become a two-division UFC champion, calling it the next natural step in his career. Meanwhile, Kamaru Usman backed Jack, praising his composure and skill set to defend the welterweight title. Both agreed the fight is likely set for October in Abu Dhabi, putting any plans for Islam versus Ilia Topuria on hold.
The 11th double champ in UFC history.
Islam tweeted, "Keep it shiny, keep it nice for me." JDM, I mean, it was kind of like the perfect comeback. He was just like, yeah, come get it.
Keep my belt clean. Okay, so the talking has begun, dude. That fight is set. That fight's going to take place in October, Abu Dhabi. I think we all know that. We're no longer going to get Ilia versus Islam Makhachev.
Jack Hermanson took a cautious view, saying moving up in weight always brings uncertainty. He acknowledged Islam's dominance at lightweight and sees him as possibly the best pound-for-pound fighter. While he doubts Islam will dominate as easily at welterweight, he still slightly favors him. Hermanson also praised Jack's performance against Bilal Muhammad, but felt Jack needs more big tests before being considered elite.
It's so hard because you never know when people are changing weight classes. But in lightweight, Islam looks like unbeatable. It's just like maybe the pound for pound best. It's just so insanely good. But can he do it in a weight class above? I'm not sure. Really, really hard to predict a fight like that. I think I still have to say Islam.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I think so. We need to see a few more fights with Jack. He looked amazing against Bilal, but I don't know, man. It's something about Islam is.
Ben Thompson weighed in on the challenges Islam Makhachev might face at welterweight, noting that many fighters in the division cut down from over 205 lbs, making size and strength key factors. While Jack Della Maddalena may have a slight height edge, Thompson emphasized that the division's overall physicality could be tough for Islam. He acknowledged Islam's elite grappling, but pointed out Jack has already dealt with strong wrestlers like Bilal Muhammad. Thompson called it a tough fight for Islam and said he hopes the UFC makes it happen.
For the welterweight division, those are some big boys. And I know Islam Makhachev walks around fairly heavy, but a lot of these 170s, they walk around real heavy. I'm talking about, over 205, 210 to 215. Some of the guys that I faced would walk around at that weight. I think the height, I think they might be the same height. I think JD might be a little taller, but when it comes to those guys and their strength, Islam, I think, is going to have a tough time. Now, do I think he could get it done? Yes. I think he's that good of a grappler. But like I said, JDM has faced some of the best welterweight grapplers and wrestlers in the division. Bilal being one of them. I think it's going to be a tough night for him. I would like to see Islam fight Topuria. That's just me. I would love to see that fight happen. But if he comes up, we'll see what the UFC gets behind. And we all know you got to convince the UFC to make it happen. And you do that first by getting on Twitter, shouting it out, and get people talking about it. And that's what Islam did. So
Craig Jones predicted that Islam Makhachev would face one of his toughest tests yet against Jack Della Maddalena. He pointed to Islam's first fight with Alexander Volkanovski, which revealed some weaknesses in scrambles. Craig added that Jack's unorthodox grappling and grip-breaking skills make him an even more unpredictable opponent.
It's a super difficult fight for Islam, this one. He's like, obviously he's faced Volk twice. We'll forget about the second one, but the first one, very competitive with the grappling. And now we're talking about he's facing a guy that's some of the best scrambling ability, I think, period, in all of MMA, and some of the most unorthodox grappling. And I think that's what Belal struggled with. Belal really just sticks to a blueprint. The blueprint obviously
praised Jack's creativity, saying it makes him tougher to prepare for compared to fighters like Belal Muhammad, who rely on more predictable tactics. Craig also noted Jack's size could catch opponents off guard and predicted the fight would likely be a thrilling, stand-up focused battle that the UFC would love to promote.
Creativity in what Belal does, I think it's pretty strict. Jack, as you saw in that fight, some of his off balances and grip breaks and some of the things he does, it's really hard to prepare for that. So I think like Islam, the size difference is going to be quite a lot bigger than people think. And we've seen how Volk did on the ground and how much Islam struggled with him in the grappling exchanges. And having seen Jack and Volks work together, seeing the skill sets, like this is a perfect one. The UFC want guys that stand and bang. I'm trying to still help them out even though potentially enemies.
Do you feel confident about this one?
Yeah, very, very confident.
Michael Bisping praised Jack Della Maddalena, calling his win over Belal Muhammad a career milestone. He admired Jack's talent, humility, and respectful nature. Bisping noted Jack's readiness to take on tough challenges and said his recent performance set the stage for a major test, an upcoming fight against Islam Makhachev, which he believes is imminent.
I belong to Jack Della Maddalena. He's an awesome human being. I've sat down with him several times and had some conversations. Nice guy, quiet guy, a man of few words, but I tell you what, that was an incredible fight tonight. And he'll take on Islam Makhachev. He doesn't care. He wants to be a part of the biggest fights possible. Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena.
Navajo Sterling said Jack Della Maddalena would dominate Islam Makhachev, making any talk of Islam fighting Aliaquinta irrelevant. He pointed to Jack's strong physical presence and sharp mid-range striking as major challenges for Islam, who would struggle without his usual size advantage to execute his game plan effectively.
JDM to win. Now he's got a big challenge in his first title defense against Islam. Do you think he's got what it takes to beat an Islam Makhachev in his first defense?
People are going to say it's a wild take, but I reckon JDM smokes Islam. Shins him so bad. It's going to be so bad that the Topuria Islam thing will just be gone.
So you think Islam's wrestling won't be a threat to JDM just because he's a lot bigger?
He's a lot bigger, and like when you watch JDM, like you put him on the end of mid-range, he's just going to throw. It's hard to like shoot in on. He's not going to be able to just abuse his size against him either. I think
Dan Hardy praised Jack Della Maddalena's skills and effort against Belal Muhammad, but questioned if he could dominate welterweight as competition grows. He doubts Islam Makhachev's ability to adapt to 170 lbs, saying Islam's size and stamina might be challenged in a 5-round fight, though Hardy doesn't see Jack losing to him.
I think Della Maddalena's got a bright future. I don't know whether he's going to hold the belt or, you know, he's going to lose it to another one of the top contenders and then pick it back up again. I don't think he's going to lose it to Makhachev, though. I think Makhachev holds the lightweight belt against anybody in the world, you know, on any day, you know, including Ilia Topuria. I don't think if he moved up, he would have much success against Makhachev. But Della Maddalena looked very, very sharp against Belal. And I wonder what Makhachev would look like as a welterweight, you know, whether he would look as strong and as lean or whether he would look heavier and, you know, potentially gas himself out because he'd been straight into a fight.
Charles Oliveira said Jack Della Maddalena is dangerous because of his calm, patient style, which helped him wear down Belal Muhammad. However, Oliveira expects Islam Makhachev to rely on wrestling, with the fight's outcome hinging on whether Jack can keep it standing and land effective strikes.
O Jack Della Maddalena e o Islam.
Maddalena, ele é um jogo muito complicado, porque ele é um cara que ele não vem pra te nocautear rápido, ele vem pra te finalizar, ele vem te magoando, né?
Aos poucos, né?
Aos poucos. Foi o que ele fez agora na luta contra o Belal. Só que eu acho que o Isla vai se dar muito bem nessa categoria, né, mano? Agora vai estar muito mais forte, é um jogo que, tipo, ele gosta de agarrar e botar pra baixo. Eu acho que o Jack Maddalena fazia a mesma luta que ele fez, né? Agora contra o Belal, batendo, movimentando, saindo, machucando, é uma luta, mas se deixar o Isla agarrar e botar...
George Masvidal called the matchup a major test for both fighters. He noted Islam's tough weight cut to 155 lbs and said moving up might make him stronger. While respecting Islam's skills, George described Jack Della Maddalena as special and said a win here would firmly place him among the world's top pound-for-pound athletes.
I've seen Islam, bro. He's a big guy. He's sucking out a lot of weight to get to 55. I think he might start doing better at 70. Problem is, though, Jack is special. We're gonna see just how special he is if he beats Islam. Jack, #1 pound for...
George leaned slightly toward Islam, but acknowledged the fight wouldn't be easy. He praised Jack's strong takedown defense against Belal Muhammad, but noted Islam's wrestling and technique are on another level. George highlighted Jack's advantage in striking speed and early power, but warned that if Islam survives the early rounds and drags the fight into deeper grappling, his experience could turn the tide.
For him, but a great fight, man.
Jack was able to defend takedown attempts by Bilal.
Bilal has the best cardio in MMA, but Bilal doesn't have Islam's technique. Not same technique. Not same. Very good, very aggressive. Bilal never stops. A dog. Attack. But Islam is like smart, man. Boom. Islam's level of wrestling is above. His stand-up game is improving. I don't think he could go stand-up in the beginning with Jack. Jack has way better hands, way better range, faster, stronger. But as the rounds go on later and later...
And that's it for today's video. What do you think about this matchup? We'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, be sure to check out our other videos on the screen right now. Thanks for watching.